All right, we're gonna go into our number 5. The rest of this list was voted on by everybody. So coming in with 22 points, this one is gonna be one of the older wrestlers on it. She is a Hall of Famer. Her style is not a style you really see. She was very revolutionary for the style of wrestling she did have, and is very iconic. And it's still cool to see it because she can still hit several of the moves she used to do. It is none other than the Queen of Extreme. It is Lita.
Like you said, she was revolutionary. How many women did you see doing moonsaults off the top rope? You didn't see it. And she fit in with the Hardy Boys perfectly. And there were points where she was just as over as they were.
Yep.
Well, the second she would get up for the moonsault, I'll go crazy.
Power pop. And again, her and a person named later were the first women to main event of Raw, which is very impressive because at that time it felt like no women would ever main event Raw.
And it was not a bad match. Now, it doesn't hold up as much as the matches now, but for that time, that was a 5-star.
That
No, it looked like it when she did the suicide dive.
At that time, that was a 5-star match for a women's match.
Oh, yeah. Her matches with Trish were always good. Her feuds with Trish were always good. She also had a feud with Mickie James that was also pretty good.
And even when she wasn't wrestling, she did well. When she was with Edge, that was a fantastic pairing. And Lita really made you hate her. She did a great job doing that.
Oh, yeah.
She also didn't fit the mold of the other women's wrestlers at the time.
And she overcame a devastating injury. She broke her neck, and she came back and wrestled however many more years, and even came back again.
And she did great. Theme song.
Yeah, she did.
I remember when she came in with Essa Rios, that was when we were watching. And then they would do the thing where after Essa Rios hit the moonsault, she would.
And she played her part in the Matt Hardy feud.
No, she did in real life, too.
Yep.
Yeah. Still can do the moonsault.
Yeah.
Sometimes she gets a little too close. Sometimes she gets a little too.
I can't remember which one, but there was one I was really worried.
Still gets a pop every time she comes in, and she was the first. I feel she was one of the blueprints to what Rhea Ripley is now. I think a lot of people would agree.
Yeah, but she had a distinct look with the tattoos, red hair.
Yeah, tattoo, red hair, hardcore, kind of the hardcore rock music. Well, not as hardcore,
willing to tangle it with the boys. I know the Dudley boys powerbomb her to a table.
She got gored by Rhino.
So I think that also helped her, is that she was willing to get involved and take those types of bumps to get from the men.
Yeah, she beat herself up.
All right, we're going to go into our number 4. This person is known for a distinct look. She's had her big moments. She's even won an ESPY, as well as has a reality show right now. It is none other than the EST, Bianca Belair.
I'm on my own, against the wall. The pressure's building, but no, I will never fall.
Some of y'all ranked her high, didn't y'all?
I have her number 5.
I ranked her very high.
Every single big match with her is a banger.
I agree. Well, another thing WWE has on their hands, they have their female equivalent of John Cena. I don't mean as dominant or anything, but they have a baby face that resonates with the fan base, to where no matter what, they're going to be over to some degree because most of the crowd loves her.
The internet does not like her winning. I'm like, she is probably one of the. I don't know if she's the biggest face they have right now for women, but she's up there.
She's definitely up there. They're definitely pushing her to be the biggest face.
She's not really terrible on the mic. Her heel promos are better.
My critique would be I would like her face character to be a little edgier. She's a bit too vanilla, but
I have her the highest because I had her 3.
I mean, her WrestleMania matches against Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Asuka. All those are good.
Those are good. When they do her versus Charlotte, that's gonna be a good one.
Her versus Jay is gonna be interesting.
Her and Rhea.
Yes.
You got these 3 money feuds right there.
She's even helping Jade right now, getting her more acclimated as a dominant force.
I'm saying 5 years, Jade might be on this list.
That's what I'm saying. Give her time. Jay's already,
Yeah.
I hope.
I hope. Bobby, you brought up a good point, T3. Is her versus Rhea, because you could kind of do a who's the best of the generation.
That was the current generation. That would be families.
Of that generation, who's the best?
You try to build that as one of those long-term rivalries.
Even her tag team works was good. Yeah, I think also as a character, the thing with her hair, I thought I would have gotten
that hair whip. Good lord.
I really didn't like. This was one of the times again. WWE shows why I'm a fan, and they run stuff because I really didn't understand the hair thing at first. I was like, "Come on, this can't last, right?"
I don't know if she gets so much torque on that.
It's
My
gotta
God.
hurt. It's gotta hurt like a bitch to take
Yeah,
that.
you saw Sasha Banks' stomach after she took it.
Because it's 100% real.
And she doesn't do it like every match. She doesn't like overdo it. It's a big moment.
Now, I know she's in a tag team now, but they're clearly setting that up for a Jay Bianca feud,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be money.
Oh, yeah.
No, that needs a SummerSlam or WrestleMania. It needs one of those big two. I feel like Jay should turn on SummerSlam to set up a WrestleMania feud.
Oh, and Bianca's a great seller as well because her selling when she sold that leg injury right before Io cashed Money in the
People
Bank.
thought it was real.
People were thinking it was a legit injury, and it was.
Yeah.
She did a great job selling.
She's had a couple moments of putting over several Money in the Bank, which was really cool. The EO a year later cashes in on her. That was really good. And then even the stuff with Damage Control. So
The only thing about
enjoyed
Damage
her.
Control is like she's been feuding with Damage Control for 2 years, so I'm kind of glad that I'm wrapping
Yeah.
that up.
Yeah, I'm glad that's over.
Yeah, well done. And I can't wait to see what else WWE has in store for her.
So
Yes.
she's going to be
'Cause
one,
I-
like in 20 years, you're going to be having fans our age talking about how inspirational she was.
I want to go into some honorable mentions. I know we have 3 left, but, I want to go into them now. All right, so the first one we're going to talk about, she is one that I think for the blueprint of a couple of female wrestlers we just talked about was definitely the first of this kind. And really, if it wasn't for her, she was very big into, I don't think a couple of these other people would have been getting the same gimmick as her. She was definitely treated very differently due to her size. It is none other than the 9th wonder of the world, R.I.P. China.
You voted for her, didn't you, Phil?
No, I didn't vote for her.
I voted
It was
for
actually
China.
voting
I
for
had
China
her.
next.
I had her at 10. Wait, you can clearly see the inspiration in Rhea Ripley.
Oh, yeah.
But when China debuted, they made her a big deal. She is absolutely stacked in '97.
And she has a presence about her. You are always aware that China's there.
Yeah, so obviously she wasn't like the best wrestler, but she was a spectacle. Fans, instant connection. Fans, they cheered, especially her face run in 2001.
Now, I do think it was a slight mistake to give her the women's belt because really, at the time, who was even believable to
Oh
be
yeah,
China?
because she had already been like Intercontinental.
But she's a woman. What's she going to do? Not go for the
Yeah.
belt?
I mean, that was WWE like competition, like you said, at the time wasn't so great. So yeah, they were they put
Yeah.
themselves into a corner.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
one
she
that
was-
definitely had potential to be amongst the greatest of all time. I think she is in the conversation, but she could have been even higher had she been in an era where she had better contemporaries.
Yeah.
That's what I've always felt. She was too ahead of her time. Like if you had
Exactly.
her now, good lord, it would be so much better for
Yeah,
her.
she was far ahead of her time.
But I mean, she
Yeah,
was
very-
revolutionary. She won the Intercontinental title. That's huge.
Mhm. Yeah, the next one we're going to talk about is going to be another one. She actually was remembered for an iconic moment that actually didn't happen on WWE, but happened on its rival show when she threw the women's championship in the trash, showing up on that rival show. It is none other than Medusa Alundra Blaze.
It's another one that was ahead of her time.
Yeah,
WCW absolutely wasted her in the second
criminally,
run.
she is criminally
Yeah,
misused.
I think she wanted to say she regrets going to WCW.
I don't blame it because I mean her leaving obviously killed the women's division for a while in WWF, but WCW just didn't know what to do with her. They wanted her just so she could do that title dump.
Yeah,
Then
just
after
so
that,
she can
they
do that.
they didn't do anything with it. She lost her first 2 matches. Pissed me off honestly because they should have treated her better.
And the problem in WWF was that they didn't have much competition for her. It was essentially they only had her face people that were from Japan, so they weren't
Well,
full-time WWF wrestlers.
They were building towards her versus Aja Kong, and I really would have liked to have seen that.
I mean, they had her facing people like Bertha Faye.
But she did do Bill Lacana in WWF too, and that was I liked it.
Though she had that iconic moment of WCW, it was nice that she brought it full circle during her Hall of Fame, took the title out of the trash. And yeah, you are right. She has spoken about it, of like she kind of regrets it, but you kind of understand. It was like, we're not renewing your contract, and that's why she was so pissed.
But yeah, ahead of her time,
So,
just like China.
yeah, okay. All right. The next one we are going to talk about is somebody I was the only person that voted on, and I think she's going to jump high on the list in a couple years, and we've mentioned a little bit. Is Liv Morgan. Yeah, buddy.
I knew you would, dude.
She didn't sniff my top 10. I'm sorry.
She's one of those that is huge wrestling fan growing up, has worked her way, and I think she's gotten a lot better from when she first started. She's put in a lot of the hard work. That's part of why she's resonated when she had her comeback, she started resonating with fans. Was she was the fan that has worked really hard to get to where she was. Right now, she's having an interesting run with her revenge tour. I am excited to see where it goes. I don't think she's ever going to be like the best or in the conversation for like top 3, but I think she
never will.
I feel she can have the bit of the Daniel Bryan, the undersized underdog. I think she can do that.
We'll see.
That's predictable.
We'll see.
That's predictable.
I'll end this with watch her. All right, watch
good
her.
Lord. Good Lord.
We did have a vote. Becky Lynch. Sorry, Becky Lynch.
Bobby, you put Becky Lynch on your list?
I did. Look, as much
What
as
number? What number?
Her, what number did I put her?
It was
for?
10. It was 10. It was 10 at least.
Look, she's still a good wrestler, guys. She can deliver a good promo. I ain't saying she always gonna do it, but like I said, she puts up good matches usually. Sometimes she does botch the finish, like at WrestleMania. I mean, that could have been also part Rousey.
It was 100% also part Rousey.
But you can't discredit her accomplishments either.
I'm not discrediting her accomplishments. I just think I have always thought she was the bottom tier of like the 4 horsewomen.
100%.
I don't know. It's just something about her that's not clicking me. I never much care for the man gimmick because it just comes off as fake tough, like Eddie Kingston.
Yeah. Well, while Nia Jax did punch her lights out, she did have that cool visual of her standing tall in the crowd, all bloody up.
Yeah, so you can thank Nia for that. You would have never gotten over without
That
it.
really helped. That really helped catapult Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
Look, this current Becky Lynch is for the birds, man. It's dog shit. I'm just gonna let you know that right now.
I will
Promos
say
suck.
Becky Lynch before Baby is better than post Baby. I will say that.
You're blaming the baby.
Oh, she was a good heel.
No, I'm not
Wasn't
blaming
that
Baby.
post baby? Yeah, heel post baby was good.
I did like that run. That was probably the most I liked her when she was copying Conor McGregor.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go a little bit. You know, I've often wondered, why do I not care for Becky Lynch? Now, while I will agree, heel Becky is a lot better. Big match, heel Becky was great. Put her on my most overrated list, especially the man gimmick. God, I cannot stand it. Even now, it's
Yeah, it's
devil
so
awful. And I wondered, and you know, finally, the other day it hit me. It hit me because Becky is AEW. AEW, that's why I do not like her. Bad promos, botched finishes, and overrated to mess by the IWC. I mean,
she's starting to get turned on online at least.
She puts on a big match, every now. Too bad she's going to botch the ending every single time. Oh, what about her and Shayna Baszler, where she botched that ending too? Is it too much to ask? Is it too much to ask? Oh, wait, the man gimmick when she was getting over, remember when she hurt her knee and couldn't remember which knee she was supposed to limp on, so they had to put a brace on it so she could remember what leg she was supposed to be limping? Other people, I get why they're over, even if I don't like her. I've never gotten over it. I'm sorry, I don't care for it. And the fact she's even compared to Charlotte, like, can we stop? Please stop this. Like, she's nowhere in Charlotte's class. Charlotte is superior in every way. The one way she could probably win me somewhat over is if she plays into Becky. If they ever played into Becky Hogan, I think that would be great. I think it would be hilarious. Then I'd probably be with it. But her promos right now, especially, I have to mute because they're so annoying and so bad. And this is another thing she does. Another thing that I hate is I'm really tough. I fight anybody. That's my character. That's it. AEW right there. Like, that's it. It pisses me off.
See, it's funny. It's funny you say that, Phil, because Cena for years was doing the same promo, but that's okay.
No. It was better. No. Don't you dare. No.
Not the discussion for today, sir. But I remember when people
look like this
remember
here. Oh wait, you're not.
There you go. Make him look that sexist he is.
It had nothing to do with sex. It's just, just saying. But I remember when the man gimmick was at its peak, you would see sizable portions of the IWC that would say, hey, Becky should give Stone Cold Stunner, lay him out. She should beat, I forget who the champion was at that time, but they wanted her to face. People wanted her to beat Lesnar. There's just no way. But people were fanficking her beating some of the top talent, and we already said she's not believable as this strong, tough person. She weighs like 110 pounds, so it was very cringy. And I think part of the reason I didn't like her for a while is because her fans were so annoying. Not her fault, but still, her promos recently have been awful. Ever since the Trish feud, I think she's been terrible, and even that was underwhelming.
I did like Trish's last match with her, though, was pretty good.
I know. I was going to mention that when we talked about her.
Unlike other people, like when I say Baker Hogan, people know I'm joking.
We're
I
just
don't
kinda
think
memeing,
she's.
yeah.
I don't think she's politicking to make sure nobody gets over or any of that. I don't think she's doing that. Next person we're going to talk about was another dominant force, not fully always used properly. It is none other than Victoria.
But her dynamic with Stevie Richards was pretty good. You know, it was a little bit different at the time that she was kind of the boss of
I
the
like
man.
her crazy gimmick. It was good.
Yeah, no, I liked it.
She kind of, I mean, like the dancing stuff near the end, I didn't really much care for, but I still liked her wrestling.
Yeah, she was definitely one of the best wrestlers of her era, and I think she would hold up in this generation
Yeah,
pretty well.
I think she would. Widow's Peak was top tier.
All right, let's go into our last three. So our third person came in with 26 points, again, voted by everybody. She has actually had, I feel, one of the better runs in these last couple years, has definitely skyrocketed up my list. Really had an interesting turn, and I think the turn really saved her for me. It is none other than the woman who changed her image, who's had put on several great matches, and I feel is probably one of the better on the mic. It is none other than Bayley.
Yes, sir.
Bayley
Yeah,
is-
she has.
Yeah, she is one of the best on the mic.
I do think once she abandoned the hugger gimmick, she took off way from me.
Yeah, she's a good face or a heel.
Yeah.
Heel was really good.
Yeah, the role model has worked. I like the role model. And even when she's a face, she's still a troll.
Greatest referee
She
in
was-
sports is her, Michael Cole.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's hilarious. Nicole, you suck and I hate you.
I like that she leaned into her obnoxious laugh, kind of like Seth Rollins. And then she even had that
yeah.
segment with Seth Rollins that was hilarious, with them going back and
Yeah.
forth with their ridiculous laughs. But yeah, I think her heel run saved her because, like Bobby said, the hugger thing, I didn't give a crap about that. I really didn't.
No, and she
No.
she had that terrible thing with Alexa Bliss, like that. This is your life segment.
Oh God,
That
Yeah,
was
that's one of the
awful.
worst. That's one of the worst things
Yeah.
ever put on television.
So yeah, if this is like 2 or 3 years ago before she turned heel, she would not have made my list. But her heel work to now, I had to pull to her.
Yeah,
up.
now her face runs, I think, a lot better because now she has legitimacy.
Yeah.
She had a great match with Io at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I'd say Io. I think her work also with Damage Control of kind of getting that group, and I think helping to lift up Io in that group was crucial to have somebody like her to help with the other characters. Now she's separated and done her own thing. One of the most loved in the back by most wrestlers also.
Yeah, she's definitely is probably a locker room leader. But I mean, she's been there she's probably one of the longest
Wow.
tenured there.
Yeah, and I feel she's always gotten cast to the bottom of the four horsewomen because Charlotte was queen. Charlotte's the queen and has the titles. Becky Lynch had the man gimmick. Sasha was the boss. Like, especially before they gave her this run, these past couple years of what she's done, I think she is the second. She's the second on the four horsewomen. I had her number 2. I really do enjoy.
That's really
Bayley.
high.
I had number 4.
I had 3.
Damn.
Bailey's
really like
she's put on
Bayley.
a lot of good tape, Max. She has a lot of good tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's putting
Also,
great work.
She's gonna go down as one of the greatest, and I think she's one I wouldn't be surprised sticks around WWE for a while.
Oh yeah, I think she's gonna be a lifetimer.
Oh yeah, very much so. Shout out to you, Bayley. Good work. All right, we're on to our number 2. For a good while, was considered GOAT of women's wrestling. I think she's been overtaken, but she's still in the conversation. She was one of the first stars, and it's funny because they kind of really brought her in first as a pretty face, and then had her transition more into her later career as a good wrestler. It is none other Trish Stratus.
It's time to rock and roll. This time I'm in control.
I probably had the lowest.
Yeah, you did.
Typical hater. Typical
Yeah,
hater.
what number you have her?
7. 3 had her. I had a 4.
Woof.
I had
Wow.
her number 4.
She's even still a good wrestler. She recently had a good cage match with Becky Lynch.
Yeah, that was good. Her match with Charlotte was good too.
But yeah, Queen of Arrows match. Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying she's a bad wrestler. She's very good. She's number 7 for a reason. I think she just has been surpassed by numerous other women.
She has been surpassed.
I will
but
say another one, good face, good heel.
yes, I would agree.
And she can cut a decent promo. She's not great, but she can cut decent
No,
promos.
she was fine. I liked her. Thank you, Trish thing.
That was good.
I think so.
People
I also
online were
think-
shitting on her most recent run too much. And like, it was fine.
That's just people being haters.
No, it's fine. again, she's not like prime Trish, and I think she also suffered a little bit. I think her promos would have been better if she was nowadays, where I think they would put more emphasis of making her promos better than at that time. Because she came, and it's interesting, like we said, like she started off with really just being a side character in TNA.
Yeah, that's another.
Yeah, what's us?
Yeah, and she was like, again, I felt she was just really a pretty face, and that was the thing. And then they pushed her more into like, okay, now she's going to have a women's championship run. She was the gold standard, I felt.
Yeah, she even overcame that awful Vincent Men's segment too.
Yeah, that's gonna be awkward to rewatch.
Yeah, it is. But she just worked at it. Like you said, she was not a wrestler beforehand. She was a model, but she worked hard to become the best wrestler of her generation. Because if you watch her beginning stuff compared to where, she was in her prime wrestling, it's just night and day. So you can clearly tell she had somewhat of a passion for the business. Because she could have left and just done modeling. I made a lot of money doing that.
Yeah. Also, her run, whether it was with Lita or Mickie James, especially at that time, was some of the best work WWE had for it.
She had good matches with Victoria. I think she even had a pretty solid one with Jazz. I think it was Triple Threat. Maybe Victoria was in there too.
She also took a couple bumps because remember, she took a couple 3Ds during her early career. All right, we're going to go ahead into our number one, coming in with 39 points. She is also a legacy, and despite what many on the internet will tell you, she is honestly has proven it. The titles, the matches, she is the GOAT. Got first place, everybody but Max voted for her as first place. It is none other than the Queen, Charlotte Flair.
Bow down, bow down, bow down, bow down. All hail the Queen.
Now, see, fellas, I can understand why you put her there because she had immense pressure being the daughter of Ric Flair, and she has stepped out of his shadow and become her own thing. She still does the same woos that her dad did, so she's not dissociated from him. But I feel like you don't view her as a wrestler who is.
I don't think of Ric Flair
because of her father.
Yeah, I don't think of Ric Flair anymore when Charlotte comes out.
Yeah.
And look, man, she can't help but do the woo. I mean, she's Charlotte Flair. No matter what, people are going to woo when she chops someone. Yeah, and I know some people on the IWC though said she only got where she is because she's Ric Flair's daughter. She might have gotten hired because of that, but she's earned everything.
I mean, that's like we were talking about earlier before we started. That's the case for a lot of wrestlers, even current wrestlers like Cody Rhodes. They got there because of family, but clearly earned their spot.
Yeah, it's like okay, Randy Orton did. The Rock and his whole dang family did. Okay, congrats. Yeah,
you don't win the title 14 times if you're not good. And it just so happens that everyone's best match happens to seem to be against Charlotte. Look at her WrestleMania catalog.
Mm-hmm. How many times have we gone, like several times we've gone already saying she didn't have the best women's match. She had the best match.
I mean, just list the wrestlers. Sasha Banks, one of the best matches. If you're not saying the Bayley match, you're thinking the Hell in a Cell with Charlotte. Rhea Ripley, obviously, is Charlotte Flair.
Asuka, potentially.
Yeah, her in WrestleMania. Her with Becky was one of the best. Like, she's over there. Her Rousey, where she did beat the mess out of Rousey. DQ. But that was still good. Very good heel.
She's a pretty bad face, I think.
Yeah, she's not meant to be, but she could do tweener at best. So she's still arrogant, but you're still kind of
she's got to be an arrogant face. Yeah, that's going to have to be what it is.
Yeah.
Another thing about Charlotte Flair, she wears the weirdest bodysuits.
Yeah, she has an affinity for those bodysuits. And I will say she's gotten better with promos over time because when she would start in the first half of her career, she would just scream or shout her promos. It was just not good flow.
Oh, and
so she stopped doing that.
I wish she'd also stop doing that moonsault.
The moonsault, yeah. Everything else, keep.
Yeah, everything else, the in-ring stuff is superb, unmatched.
Because the moonsault never touches anybody. Like, come on, they don't get no connection.
Yeah. And I think for her, she has started to become the female final boss of each wrestler. A lot of the wrestlers, like, how do you prove you were legit? Okay, let's go. Let's put her with Charlotte. Her versus Jade's going to be good when they do that. Her, still waiting for her versus Bianca. That would be good too.
They could even run back her versus Rhea because they're 1-1, right? So they could do that again.
Sure. No, that would be something.
I hope so because that last match was just my gosh.
No.
She even got multiple good matches out of Ronda Rousey too.
It doesn't matter. I mean, when you talk about wrestling talent, she's there. Really good.
Unfortunately, she's had 2 lengthy absences. One due to her marriage, she took some time off for that, and now she's injured, blew her knee out. We'll see how long she's out for that, but that's kind of stalled her lately. Is because I thought she had potential to beat her dad's record, and if she doesn't come back in the next year or so, it may not happen.
Yeah.
I mean, she hot potatoes the title a lot, so but I mean Triple H does, but Triple H doesn't really book hot potato title reigns. So.
Exactly. So, I mean, we'll see.
I mean, I think with her, he might just to get her.
Yeah, he's gonna get her at least a 16.
It seems following her on Twitter, seems like her rehab's going pretty well, and she'll probably return sooner than expected. Granted, she's in like great condition. She's always kept herself.
She is in fantastic shape. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, very much supreme athlete. Shout out to you, Charlotte. All right, did you agree with our list? Did you not? Did you think that more of us should have had Becky Lynch on our list? Let us know in the comments below. Is there somebody we missed? Also who is somebody that you think has great potential that you might put on your list 5 years down the road? You know, do you agree with me about Liv Morgan as well? Or I think Cora Jade, Nikita Lyons, just to name a couple that I think have some good potential. Or Tiffany Stratton, I think. Forgot her. She probably has potential to be on this list in 5 years. Let me know what you think below. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Again, my name's Legacy.
And I'm Max.
I'm Bobby.
I'm Jay.
And may the discussions begin. See ya.